What's up everyone, how are we all doing? Welcome along to tonight's late night agenda. It's a bit of an impromptu late night agenda because we weren't supposed to be streaming today, but you know what? I'm feeling in good form today, fine fettle as they say, so I thought why not come on, have a chat, see how everybody's feeling. If you're like me, this whole isolation thing is pretty frustrating at times, but I've been trying to find ways, innovative, creative ways to annoy the shit out of my wife and the rest of my family, and you know what? I'm succeeding so far. I've been quite creative about it. I spend a good 20 minutes dancing around the kitchen, following my wife around, just winding her up because there's not much else to do, is there, ladies and gentlemen? But that being said, the world of football is still moving quickly. The transfer rumours have started to come thick and fast, and as each day goes by, we're starting to move a little bit closer to a potential solution that could see this season actually come to a conclusion. But look, there is loads to talk about, and I want to say hello to everyone in the chat as well. See how you're all feeling. Scotty's in. Loads of people are in the chat. Joel's in. King Doc's in. Scotty's in. I said Up the Reds is in. Casper. Loads of other people as well. Subi's joined the chat now as well. Thomas McGee, Luca, and lots of other people. How are we, ladies and gentlemen? As usual, whatever part of the world that you're joining us from, I hope that you and your family are safe. I hope that life is treating you well. And I hope that the football god shall be shining on us all and we get to finish this Premier League season at some point. Mr. Sweeney is in the house as well. Dave, how are you, sir? Anything you guys want to ask me tonight? It's just myself, no guests on, so feel free, bang it into the chat and I'll do my best to get through as many of them as I can. Lucas said, Craig, how are you? I'm not bad. One of the better days today, Luca, mate. One of the better days, and looking forward tomorrow. Terry from the Football Terrace is scheduled to come on and join us at 9 o'clock tomorrow night, so looking forward to having a chat with him. I'm sure we'll be chatting about transfer rumours and the like as well. Joel said, love your content, keep it up and stay safe. Thank you, Joel. You're an absolute gent, mate. Really appreciate it. And of course, right back to you, mate. I hope you stay safe and well. Also, so here's an interesting one actually that B3NH has put in, and Boya actually messaged me about this one earlier on as well. It is interesting. It's not really Liverpool centric, but it's a decent one to kick off the stream with. Apparently, Brendan Rodgers and Leicester City are interested in maybe bringing Felipe Coutinho, yes, you heard me right, Felipe Coutinho, to the King Power Stadium. I don't know if that would be a potential loan deal. I don't know if they'd be willing to fork out the rumoured 80 million quid, but Boya, you know, the Leicester City fan, the good friend of ours, he's a bit sceptical on it. I don't see it. I think that, with due respect to Leicester, and I do have a soft spot for Leicester, you guys know this, lots of Leicester friends, that would be a big jump down for Felipe Coutinho, and I don't know if Leicester would be willing to pay the rumour 250 grand a week as well that Coutinho's currently on. So I mean, it's one of those. We're starting to see a few crazy ones today, and look, I'm going to be open and honest about this from the start. None more crazy than the two that we have on the thumbnail tonight, ladies and gentlemen. None more crazy than the Harry Kane and Raheem Sterling stuff around Liverpool, and we will of course get to that as well as the stream goes on. Did I hear about Ringmahan Rangers? I haven't, Thomas. No, mate. I haven't, mate. So please do put it in the chat and let me know. Right, let's start off tonight with a little bit of something. Where do we go? So many notes to go through. Let's talk about the National Leagues, actually, because that seems a good way of kicking this conversation off. So the National League, National League North and National League South have all been suspended indefinitely. The National League has now undertaken specialist legal advice as to how best to conclude the 2019-2020 season. Now, as always, the devil is in the detail and in the wording of these things. Unlike below National League North and South, which their seasons were just cancelled and then null and voided, I believe, this seems to be worded a little bit differently. I think they're just looking into the possibility of maybe what they could get away with regards to potentially cancelling it. But all in all, they're using the words suspended indefinitely and not cancelled. So again, something else for us all to keep an eye on in the world of football. There is some encouraging news as well coming out of Germany. It looks like the Bundesliga or the German leagues are looking at trying to find a way of getting their league finished, I think by the end of June, if my memory serves me correct. I think there's an article about that on the Echo, if any of you want to go on there and have a full read in more detail, rather than me just giving you little bits and pieces from it. Brian reckons that regards to Leicester and Coutinho, that they probably couldn't afford it. Well, as we spoke about yesterday, Brian, there was a conversation that took place between Michael Edwards and Jurgen Klopp about the possibility of Liverpool bringing Coutinho back on loan when it turned out that Barcelona didn't really want him, and that they balked at both the 8 million loan fee and the 250 grand a week. So I think again it was the Echo said that it was a very short conversation. Andy said, I'm from Norway and I'm fine, thank you. How about you? Well, firstly, mate, I'm glad to hear that you're okay, and I hope the rest of your family are as well. I'm doing okay, thank you, mate. I'm always good once I have my family around me, and my wife and kids are here safe and sound with me in the house, which is all I can ask for, I suppose, at this moment in time. Right, what have we got? Why are we asking questions to Terry? Terry isn't here, who's saying this is Craig. But anyway, he said Ousmane Dembele be a good fit for Liverpool after missing out in Barcelona. Yeah, look, we spoke about Dembele yesterday and it intrigues me. I've always said, Hussein, that there is an absolute player there without a shadow of a doubt. There has been some issues maybe around his temperament, if that's the right word, or his attitude. Now, coming back from the injury he's coming back from as well, you've got to be careful, but no doubt about it, I think 80 million will be a good figure for Ousmane Dembele, but do I see Liverpool realistically going out there and signing him? I don't, if I'm being honest with you. I don't really see us looking to do business with Barcelona either, but again, we're going to have to wait and see how things unfold. Right, Cade said to me, Sterling coming here is absolutely bloody ridiculous. And Cade, you know what? I absolutely bloody agree with you, pal. I think the Raheem Sterling one, let's start with that. So that came out today. Where did this one come from? Where did the Raheem Sterling one come from? Sorry, I'm looking to see. Oh, yes, so L'Equipe. It was L'Equipe and the Express believe Liverpool are considering a sensational swoop to bring Raheem Sterling back to Anfield. The French publication L'Equipe goes on to say that Liverpool are looking at Sterling as a possible option because they fear losing Sadio Mane to Real Madrid. Well, firstly, I don't believe we'll lose Sadio Mane to anybody, not this summer anyway, or not this transfer window for certain. And look, do any of us really believe that Raheem Sterling is coming back to Liverpool? Do any of us really believe that Manchester City would sell Raheem Sterling to Liverpool? I think a lot of this stems from the fact that Raheem Sterling had some nice words to say in a Q&A that he did recently. Said that he still loves Liverpool, appreciates his time here, and all the likes, but to me, I cannot see Raheem Sterling coming back to Liverpool. The money that it would take, and I remember a couple of weeks ago reading articles, Raheem Sterling being valued at somewhere between 150 and 200 million when he's being linked to the likes of Real Madrid and that. So, look, ladies and gentlemen, I think we can all agree on this one that it would be highly, highly, highly unlikely that Raheem Sterling comes back to Liverpool, and none of us would want it to happen at the loss of Sadio Mane to Real Madrid for certain. I think I can speak on behalf of a lot of us in that one. Sterling's a good player, there's no doubt about that, and if he was a little bit better with his finishing, his numbers would probably be astronomical because he's already doing really good numbers for Manchester City. There's no doubt he's a talented player. I'm not going to lie, when we lost Raheem Sterling, I wasn't happy with the way that he went, but I was very upset because I genuinely thought he was going to go on to be a great at this club. But I don't believe it. I don't believe it for 1 minute, especially coming out of L'Equipe and the Express. I don't know. I mean, nothing against L'Equipe and the Express, excuse me, don't get me wrong at that point of view, but I just don't see it being true myself. Right, Brian said there's a David Conn article about UEFA looking at the end of June as a possible start date. I think that's the one you sent me, mate, from The Guardian, which I had a quick read of before we started, and again, always interesting reading. Elijah John 5, good evening to you, mate, welcome in. Kate said Sterling in would mean Mane out. And I don't think any of us want that, Kate, do we? I mean, nobody wants to lose Sadio Mane. We love him. And yeah, I definitely don't want to lose Sadio. What have we got? James, we try and keep this... how do I say it? We try and keep this free of what's going on in the world now, James Roach. Now look, mate, let me say firstly, I hope your nan's okay. I genuinely do, mate. From the bottom of my heart, love to you and your family, and I hope she's okay. But we don't really like to talk about that subject on the stream because we're bombarded with it, mate, all over the world. Everywhere we turn, it's in our faces. So we try and come on here, buddy, and just have a little bit of fun. But of course, mate, we do wish your gran a recovery. Absolutely. Thoughts with you, pal, without a shadow of a doubt. Right, what else have we got? Gabriel said, does anybody even want Raheem Sterling back? That's a fair question. Give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. Do you want Raheem Sterling back at the club? Hubert, no messing about. I love it, buddy. Straight in said, I hate that rat. Probably a little bit stronger words than I would use, mate. But I was pissed off at the way he left without a shadow of a doubt. We got good money from him, no doubt about that. Right, burst bubble was nice while it lasted, said Mark the Mighty Red. Sorry, pal. Brian said, or not Brian, Connor, sorry, Jesus, weird, same Brian. Connor said, if we're going to be shithouses, go and have somebody off City, let's make it Kevin De Bruyne. And I'm with you, pal. I'm with you on that one. There's not a Liverpool fan I know that wouldn't love De Bruyne in behind our front three pulling the strings. John Hamilton said, I doubt Liverpool are interested or even want to bring the little snake back. And if he wants to come back, it's unlikely to ensure he gets Champions League because Shitty will be banned. I actually, John, do you know what? That never even entered my head, the whole City ban part of it, because I'm not even thinking that far ahead yet. But I'm with you in not wanting him back, John. Yeah, bro, I'm good, thank you, buddy. I hope you are as well. Joanne Fisher, welcome in. Joanne said, wasn't Raheem Sterling on the plane singing about us when they'd won a cup, the league, I think it was at the time? Probably, Joanne. I don't remember. I remember seeing the clip, alright, of Manchester City singing about us because I don't know why, mate. I don't know why, but probably. What have we got? I wouldn't swap a ball boy for Raheem Sterling, said Michael H. There's definitely not a lot of love for Raheem in the chat this evening, ladies and gentlemen. I think that's fair to say. Joel Harley said, are Liverpool signing Timo Werner? Joel, if I came on here, mate, and gave you a definitive answer either way, I'll be an absolute liar. But what I can say to you, buddy, is I fully believe that he is the most likely of all the players that we've seen Liverpool linked with for us to go and sign this summer. We know the numbers. We know he likes the club. We know our manager is fond of him. We know Leipzig are almost, not willing to sell, but almost, what's the word I'm looking for? Consoling themselves with the fact that they'd have to sell him. I think it'll happen. I can't say for certain, mate, because look, I'm a football fan. I don't have inside knowledge on any of this stuff. But from all the reading that I've done, from even Aldo's bang on for us going out and signing Timo Werner. What have we got? De Bruyne instead all day long, said Video Bruyne. Oh, mate. I've said this before. There's a few players I wish had have played for Liverpool at one point. Thierry Henry, apart from him being a handball and cheating swine when it comes to his national team. David Silva, Kevin De Bruyne. Players I would have loved to have worn the Liverpool shirt just because I appreciate them as footballers. Would I be happy with a quiet summer like last? Benjamin Terrell. Mate, no. Hell no. Forever no, buddy. Not a chance. We had our quiet summer. I think the reasoning behind the quiet summer last summer made sense to us. We had spent a lot of money in the previous year. It is difficult to improve a squad that is as good as the one that we have. But no, this summer, I think the general consensus is that there'll be one or two, I don't want to say marquee signings, mate, but let's say, bigger name signings than in previous summers. Subi's 50-50 with Sterling. Tom Burns said no to Sterling. John Cable's no. Stephen Booker's no. Mr. Hamilton said he's a whiny little shit. I like that, John. Well in. Luca Bradley summed it all up with the perfect emoji at the right time, mate, in the perfect scenario. Fuck him. And I you know what, mate? That is the exact type of thing that Mr. Crosby sit down and designed that emoji for. So well in, Luca. Just for how fuming everybody would be, Connor's gone for a thumbs up because he does like a bit of shit stirring, does Mr. Crosby. Justin the Wood said Sterling thumbs down. Why not if he bangs them in, said Brian. Brian's given it 3 thumbs up. I'd rather sign Troy Deeney than Raheem Sterling, said Joshua Lee. There was actually a really good video going around. I don't know if you've seen it. It was on Sky earlier on. Ben Foster was running a bit of a spin class for the Watford players, and it was funny, to be fair. Right, what else have we got? 150 for Mane is good money. It is good money. And probably roughly around his market value. I think that's probably fair to say that around 150 is his market value. But I would rather... this sounds so horrible to say because I don't want to sell anybody. But I've said it time and time again, and I'm going to reiterate it. If we had to sell one of the front three, or if they wanted to move on, I would sell Mo. That's my honest opinion. I would sell Mo if we had to sell one of the front three. But I don't... When I say we have to sell, I don't mean from a financial standpoint because the club are in trouble, because we're not. We're in a very healthy position. I just mean if somebody wanted to move on and the club are willing to let one go because they had somebody that was going to come in that they think could fill that gap, then for me, Salah would be the one I think is the easiest to replace. Now, people will completely disagree with me, and you know what? I will respect your opinion because we all look at these things in different ways. But for me, I think losing Mane or Firmino, I just couldn't. I couldn't cope with it. Connor said, could you imagine Sterling with Klopp's guidance? Well, to be fair, Connor, he is working with a good manager as well now at the minute in Mr. Guardiola now. I mean, of all the stuff we wind up Manchester City about, Pep Guardiola has improved Raheem Sterling as a footballer without a shadow of a doubt. Hussein said, sell Mane and get Mbappe. It's just not going to happen, buddy, for varying reasons. His wages will be astronomical. We could, you know, I've said this before and I had a conversation. We could probably afford to sign Kylian Mbappe, but we won't. But if it was what Jurgen Klopp wanted more than anything else in the world, there's probably a way we could structure it to afford Mbappe. But it would mean we would probably not be able to strengthen in other areas that we probably need to strengthen in. So I can't see Kylian Mbappe coming anywhere near Liverpool. I really, as much as we'd all love it. It seems like Zinedine Zidane wants him at Real Madrid and wants him badly. But there's one thing we know about Paris Saint-Germain is Paris Saint-Germain will sell when they want to sell, and not because they're going to be bullied into it, because they won't be financially bullied into anything. And he is the poster boy of French football as well, and obviously Paris Saint-Germain, the biggest club in France, so I don't know. I mean, I'd say there's more likelihood of them moving on Neymar than Mbappe, but I guess we're going to have to wait and see. I wonder, and this is something put into the chat earlier on in our Discord group, I wonder if what's going on in the world right now might have an effect on the transfer window and the fees that are going to be paid by clubs. I'd be really interested to know what you guys think about that one. And again, welcome to all our new members. I know a couple of people joined up yesterday. Thank you guys so much. Today is the last day of the month with regards to Hot Mic and stuff. So the way that works is Hot Mic do it from the first to the last of the month. So from tomorrow, we're going to be asking you guys again to jump on and support us on Hot Mic as always. We'll be doing the stream with Terry both on Hot Mic and on YouTube as always. So look, if you don't know what Hot Mic is, it is an app that allows us to broadcast games, and you can watch our commentary or listen to our commentary rather than the commentary on the TV and sync it up to your phone. We'll go through this in more detail down the line. But look, if you do want to follow us on there, download the Hot Mic app, Google Play Store or the Apple App Store. Put in the code Anfield Agenda. There's a link in the description as well. Thank you very much. And Friday we're going to be doing the Watchalong from Istanbul. So we promised you guys we were going to do it Friday, 9 o'clock on Hot Mic and on YouTube. We're going to be doing a watch-along of one of my favourite games of all time, Istanbul, the miracle of Istanbul 2005. We're going to be going right through. So settle yourselves in, get yourselves a few drinks. Make sure you don't need any toilet breaks because it's going to be a long one. We've got the 90 minutes and the extra time, and I don't want to spoil the ending for you, but we won. Go on. Yeah, don't want to spoil the ending for anyone who doesn't know, but we won. So yeah, really looking forward to that, ladies and gents. Be nice to watch some football. And don't worry, what we're going to do is when you guys come into the chat as well, we're going to give everybody the same link so that we can all watch it from the same point at the same time, and we'll make sure that we're all synced up and ready to go. So again, I hope you join us on Friday for that one as well. And thank you, by the way. I want to say a massive thank you to Carl, Domestic Butler, Ken Coastal Holiday, all the same person. Yesterday, before our stream started, as you guys know, my ring light, which is the light that broadcasts the really high strength light to the green screen behind me, which allows us to use the green screen, fucked up and broke on us yesterday. And we're already in the shits financially, like everybody else is. I'm not putting on the poor mouth. We're all in the same boat. And Carl came in like a fucking legend and put in a £50 super chat, which allowed us to replace that light. So mate, thank you. From the bottom of our hearts, thank you. You made a massive difference. You lifted my mood when I was at a point yesterday where, I mean, you see the rant that I went on yesterday, first and foremost. So yeah, I wasn't at my best yesterday. It had been a bad news day. Bad news comes in twos and threes. When the light packed in, I swear, I thought somebody was telling me to give up. I thought somebody was saying, Craig, just pack this shit in and give it up. So, but you guys jumped in here and you were so supportive yesterday. So for that, to all of you, whether it was a 79p super chat or whether it was a £50 super chat, you guys have been able to allow us to go and replace that light. So thank you so much. Right, let me go. What else have we got? What about Timo Werner? Said Deepak. Again, mate, like I said a few minutes ago, there is no confirmation on Werner or anything yet, but I'd be flabbergasted if he doesn't sign. I really, really would. You're not even really seeing links to him to other clubs. There was a little bit of a link to him to Chelsea, and that kind of faded away a little bit. I really, really, really think that Timo Werner will end up at Liverpool. Really do. What else have we got? Big fraudulent, said Connor. He's not a fraud. Look, we can take the piss out of Manchester City, but you know me, I give my honest opinion on things, and Guardiola is an excellent coach. Right, what else? We need to strengthen this summer, definitely, said somebody else. It was Lord Jimbo. How are you, mate? We definitely do need to strengthen. 2 to 3 players for me this summer, depending on who leaves as well. Again, loads of stuff to get through. I want to talk about the Harry Kane nonsense as well, which we'll get to in a few minutes. There's also a link to a left back from Liverpool, a Paris Saint-Germain left back that we'll get to as well. And there's a little bit more of an update on the Dejan Lovren situation as well. April Fool's Day tomorrow, what are my plans? Not to believe anything I read online, mate. That's my plan. As always, there'll be some sick fucks out there that are going to be doing some stupid shit tomorrow. But look, remember, as has been pointed out there by Zafir, April Fool's Day tomorrow. Don't believe any of the bullshit that you read. Just be careful, because there's going to be a load of fake transfer stories, a load of fake nonsense put out there. There's probably going to be some sick fuckers out there telling you that the league are cancelled as well. Don't buy into it. Right, let me read through more of your comments. Paul Murphy, mate, thank you so much for the €10 super chat. You're an absolute legend. Really appreciate it. And as Joanne said, never give up. You know what? It is weird. There's been times where I've been doing this and I've been not in a good place myself. Not in a good place at all. And then you receive like an email, or you receive like Connor sent me a beautiful Instagram post that somebody sent him the other day. And all these little things kind of let you know that even if you're only impacting or helping one person, and look, I don't come on here to try and help people, but it's no secret that people have said that you know, they enjoy the streams and they enjoy the interaction, and just when you're at your lowest like that, it often happens that something comes along. Somebody gives you a little boost, or somebody gives you a kind word, and I just want you guys to know, of all the people that have sent messages and emails and stuff over the years, I do read them, and they do mean a lot to me, and they mean a lot to my wife as well, because I show her. So thank you, yeah, thank you. I want to be in a good mood. I want to be positive. What is it about Harry Kane? We'll get to it. Don't worry, pal. I promise you. Far Isle's in the house. How are we, Dave? Lovely to see you in, mate. I know that you've been up to your ears over there in Florida trying to get ready. Thank you for the little super sticker, dude. And the super chat, mate. You are a legend. Thank you. Raheem Sterling runs like a T-Rex. He always looked to me running. And look, who am I to slag anybody about running? Because I waddle like fuck when I run. But he always seemed to be like somebody who runs like a child running with a wet nappy. You know the kind of way. Anyone who's had kids will know a little, when your kid shuffles along when they have pee in their nappy, like that kind of reminds me of how Sterling runs. And again, I'm not slagging off Raheem Sterling. Who the fuck am I to slag anybody off? What have we got? I want Sadio Mane situation, said Adu. Sadio's not going to go anywhere, my friend. Don't worry about that one. Sadio Mane has been linked to Real Madrid and other clubs for a couple of years now. Real Madrid are broke, and as are Barcelona. Real Madrid are looking to redevelop the Bernabeu without adding any extra seats, and it's going to cost a shit ton of money. Real Madrid are trying really, really hard to bring in Kylian Mbappe. Real Madrid couldn't even get the deal over the line for Donny van der Beek because of the financial situation. They aren't the powerhouses that they once were, Real Madrid and Barcelona, from a financial standpoint, I mean. So the days of the top tier English clubs being bullied by Real Madrid and Barcelona, I think, are over. I think they're behind us. I think there's so much money now in the Premier League that I won't say that the clubs are calling the shots, but they certainly ain't going to be bullied anymore. What else is there? We're the best team in the world, said Joshua. Yeah, we are. And we've got a badge to prove it, Joshua. And a trophy, mate. I mean, you can't argue with that. Scotty said, I'll be saying something to my dad who's a United fan in April Fools. I mean, Scotty's suffering enough, mate. If he's a United fan, buddy, he's suffering enough without you playing practical jokes. AS1 Upload said, would you rather Sancho or Dembele? I'll give you my honest answer, mate. But my honest answer is going to have a caveat to it. I would rather Jadon Sancho than Ousmane Dembele. But I think there's more chance of Jadon Sancho going to Manchester United than Liverpool because of all the things that I've been reading. So I'm saying this knowing that there's a good chance it could come back to bite me in the ass someday. But he is a very good footballer. But they both are. I mean, if Ousmane Dembele came to Liverpool for the right price, I absolutely wouldn't be moaning about it whatsoever. Now, something came out today that said that even with the current climate and the financial situation in the world, that Bayer Leverkusen and Borussia Dortmund have absolutely no intention of lowering their £100 million plus asking prices for Kai Havertz and for Jadon Sancho. So, again, take that with a pinch of salt. It's just another, I think, unnecessary story that's been put out there. My latest video. Remember I said to you guys yesterday that I did an 888 video where I spoke about Harry Kane. It was one of the unpopular opinion pieces. That came out today, so if you want to have a quick look at it, it's not very long. It's over on the 888 Sport Twitter account. It's over on the Anfield Agenda Twitter account as well. And I think it's even up on the Instagram account. But yeah, please do go over and check it out. The premise of it is that I said that if Spurs want to progress as a club and really move on to the top level, that they should be looking to sell Harry Kane. Now, bear in mind, I know it's fashionable lately to be talking about Harry Kane moving on, but I recorded this over a month ago. Even long, probably 2 months ago. So bear in mind when you're watching the video that I was saying this shit 2 months ago before it was popular to be talking about Harry Kane moving on. So there you go. And if you do watch it, please do drop a like on it as well and share it as well, because we want to support the guys at 888 Sport. What is there? Dembele now, Sancho in the future, said Soldier 1. Subi said, Craig, you know that clause in Werner's contract runs out at the start of April or at the end? See, that's something I haven't heard a lot of lately, Subi, because we all know that the way contracts are right now with the situation the world is in, nobody knows. But you're right, mate. There was talk that buyout clause in Timo Werner's contract, which was rumoured to be €60 million, was set to expire at the end of April. Now, I don't know, or at the start of April, or at some point during April. I guess maybe, mate, we might find out over the next month or so. But again, one to keep an eye on, and fair play for raising it, Subi. Chris Legit said, how do you fare, or how do you reckon Lewandowski would do in the Premier League? Right now, I mean, look, there's two ways of looking at this, mate. Robert Lewandowski is an absolute machine when it comes to scoring goals. He's getting to the latter part of his career, but he could still come in and do a job for certain. He does seem like a type of a Chelsea signing to me, Chris, if you get where I'm coming from. I can't see somebody like Liverpool or Arsenal going and signing him, but Robert Lewandowski, now I'm not saying he'll go there. He may well stay at Bayern Munich for the foreseeable, but yeah, he seems like to me like somebody who'll come into Chelsea maybe, something like that, but you will never hear anything but good words from me about him. He's a goal-scoring machine, mate. There's no doubt about it. AS1 said, love your videos. Keep it up. Thank you, mate. Really appreciate that. Thank you. How am I dealing with the quarantine? You know, for me, it's probably easier than for a lot of people, mate, because I'm not a social creature at the best of times. Connor will tell you, Brian will tell you, anyone that knows me will tell you, I don't go out very much. I have massive anxiety issues, which means I don't leave the house very often at all. And if I do, it's usually with a bit of planning and forward thought. So for me, this isn't totally out of the ordinary, mate. But I have asthma. My young son has asthma, which I suppose puts us in the vulnerable group. So like everybody else, I'm just doing what we can, mate. Listen to the advice that we're being given and making sure that I'm trying to keep my family safe. Like everyone, buddy. That's all we can do, isn't it? And try and keep our spirits up. Got your diet, chav? I actually do. But it's one of the skinny cans. One of the skinny motherfuckers. I mean, a bit rich me saying skinny motherfucker, I know. But yes, I always have Diet Coke to hand. You should know that. Los Colchoneros? Or, I'm so sorry if I mispronounced that. Said, love your content, bro. Keep it up. Thank you. Really appreciate that. Look, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what's been up, but we've been losing a fair few subscribers over the last few weeks. And my wife has a theory behind it. My wife has been going through her YouTube list and unfollowing people or unsubscribing to people that she hasn't watched in a while. And I hope that's the case. I really do hope that's the case, because our channel has been very fortunate that from day one we've been going up and up and up and progressing, and I've loved it. But that is mainly built off watch-alongs and stuff. So look, if you are with us and you are enjoying the stream, you haven't subscribed, please do take a second, hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up as well. But most importantly, ladies and gents, please do keep your comments coming. If there's anything you want to chat about, as always, bang it in there and we'll do our best to get to it. Sean Swain said, Sterling comes to Liverpool, he might get smacked by Gomez in the lunchroom. I'd forgotten about that, Sean. I'd forgotten about that little... Yeah, I mean, to be fair, like, Raheem Sterling trying to put it up to Joe Gomez. I mean, like, you know, pick a right fight, mate. I mean, Joe Gomez is a fucking beast. Connor said, Craig doesn't half like to point out his own visionary statements. I am, yeah. I'm very humble, Connor. I'm the most humble person in the world. Nobody is more humble than me. I'm the best at being humble. Gone full on Trumpy Trump here at the minute. But I was right though, Connor. I mean, I'll take you back even further, Crosby. Do you remember I said to you that Chelsea need to get rid of Eden Hazard as well? Do you remember that? Huh? How's he doing at Real Madrid? Not very good. Right, what else was there? Craig, are you showing the match? Which match, Thomas, mate? You've lost me here, buddy. If you're talking about on Friday, we're going to be doing a watch-along. So we'll give you guys a link to the Istanbul, the one that we're going to be using. And we'll all start at the same time, buddy. And we'll do commentary. So on that, we'll be using Hot Mic for the commentary on that, ladies and gentlemen, on Friday for the watch-along of Istanbul. So I'll be able to give you some alternative commentary to that on the game. So again, please do try and join us for that one. Connor said, Craig didn't even leave the house for a full month not long ago. Not even planned, it just happened. And half the time, mate, I don't even know. Like, my wife will turn around to me and go, do you know it's been a month since you left the house? And I'll go, no. It just doesn't register. Right, what else have we got? Craig, you calling Lovering a cabbage was the highlight of the season, said Casper. I thought that's a word that was used quite often. Maybe it's a very Irish thing. It's like a nice way of calling somebody an idiot. I mean, I don't like to use the word idiot too much, but cabbage is a bit more playful, isn't it? So Emmanuel said, Dembele to Liverpool. It's definitely something, mate, that's been mentioned a lot more over the last couple of days. It's no secret. Barcelona want to offload Ousmane Dembele and Felipe Coutinho, and maybe even Antoine Griezmann, because there were 3 purchases that didn't really work out for them. Dembele, maybe because of his attitude, but of course he suffered injuries as well. I don't know. What do we think about Dembele? Would we like Dembele at Liverpool? Let's go with the £80 million price tag that's been thrown around. Would you guys think that £80 million for Ousmane Dembele is a reasonable sum of money? Would you be happy with him coming to the club? What do I think of Connor Cody, said Sullivan UK. Good player, not suitable for us. Delighted that he went and rebuilt his career after it didn't work out for him at Liverpool. So happy to see him captain in that Wolves team. He'd been linked with Arsenal actually at one point, but look, Wolves are a club that are on the up, so I think Connor Cody is, captain of the football club, and I'm delighted to see him doing well. I genuinely am. He seems like a wonderful lad as well. Sean Finley said, Bale. Craig, thoughts? Weird is my thoughts on Gareth Bale, mate. There's no doubt about Gareth Bale being an exceptional footballer when he's at it and he's playing and he's fit. But it's like Real Madrid have been trying to get rid of him for 2.5 years at this point, and it may even, as weird as this sounds, it could get to the point where they have to let him go for nothing and just get somebody to cover his wages, which is mental. Because if you remember, like that goal that he scored against Barcelona, where he knocked the ball around, ran off the pitch, around the outside, Bale in full flight is phenomenal. I don't know what the situation is. I don't want him at Liverpool because we've had our fair share of injury bound, injury filled, whatever the phrase is, players over the years, and no, not for me. Not at his wages as well. I think his wages is, I think he's on to like 350, 400 grand a week at Real Madrid. Something along those lines. I'm probably off, but it is higher than we're paying anybody, I'm sure. I would stay away from Dembele, very talented, but has nothing else, said Yibber. No to Dembele, too much money and too injury prone, said John Hamilton. 80 million for Dembele is fine, we can pay that, said Casper. Dembele not even as good as Zaha. To be fair, mate, he is. In my opinion, sorry, this is all just opinions, Blue, but I think he's better than Zaha, I've got to be honest, but that's just my opinion. Where did this Sterling to Liverpool rumour come out of? A couple of places, mate, and sorry, that was 2, that wasn't me, trying to make a peace sign. So it came from L'Equipe and The Express. So L'Equipe went as far as to say that they believe Liverpool are looking at Raheem Sterling as a potential replacement for Sadio Mane, who had been linked to Real Madrid. I don't buy it. I don't buy either of those two things, to be honest. Would I take Coutinho back? I want to phrase this as clearly as I can. Fuck no. Mate, I absolutely would not take Felipe Coutinho back to Liverpool. The way he left really pissed me off. Not that I have any say over this whatsoever, but no, I wouldn't, mate. What else is there? Barcelona and Real ruin players' careers, said Emmanuel. Whoever we buy, Klopp can offload them better and for well over 100 million, said Soldier 1. Injury prone was the word I was looking for, Liz. Thank you, mate. Sam, I'm good, thank you, buddy. How are you? Brian said, I'd never judge a young player for not making it at Barcelona, so who knows what you'd be getting for your 80 million. Yeah, it's a fair point. For me, it wouldn't... it was never a question of his playing ability for me with regards to Ousmane Dembele. It was more his attitude. And look, I obviously do not know Ousmane Dembele, but I remember seeing stuff. I remember Guillaume Balaguer talking about it on I think it was a video that he did. That basically the Barcelona players, senior players, were sitting down saying to him, look, get your fucking head screwed on. You need to make sure that your head's right or it ain't going to work out for you here. I think the instability for a young player like Ousmane Dembele at Barcelona hasn't helped as well with the managerial changes and stuff like that. Whereas if he came to somewhere with a steady manager like Jurgen Klopp, I think maybe he might blossom. When he was at Dortmund, what was this? Sorry, Emmanuel, I missed the first part. Craig, do we even need Ousmane Dembele, said Casper. Well, look, if we went out and signed Timo Werner and we kept the front three, and we've got Takumi Minamino, Divock Origi, you know what, we might be alright, mate. I'd rather us maybe look for a number 10 than another wide forward if we go and get Timo Werner. Gabriel said, Craig, do you want Raheem back? Because I don't. He's a snake. He's got less goals than Jesse Lingard this year. He's only one goal, and it was his back with his back. No, I definitely don't want him back, mate. But I will say he's a very good footballer. But no, I don't want him back. Not at all. Not for the type of money it will cost. No, not for me. Cop Counsel's in the house. How are you, Connor? Said Dembele on his day is worth 80 million, but the fact is, how many of those days are you going to get with his injury record? Therein lies, I suppose, the big conundrum. But one thing we can say is we know that Liverpool's medicals are pretty thorough. So if it did get to that point and it went to a medical, you know that they would be really, really looking into things. I mean, we've seen that in the past. We've seen it most recently, of course, with Nabil Fekir. Sam said, Ireland in lockdown, I heard, Craig. Yes and no, mate. I mean, for us, it's no different because we've been doing what we've been told to do for the last 3-4 weeks anyway. I think this is just trying to get other people to stop acting like fools and actually do what they're being asked. So it's not really much different. A few more shops closed down and stuff like that, but you know, it's just about getting through it, isn't it, at this point, Sam, mate? It's just about keeping our heads down and getting through it and praying to God, if you're a religious person, that you know, that everybody comes through unscathed, or as many people as possible. Rick Heskey's in the house. Rick, how are you, mate? Is that Dara O'Brien? It's always his first comment. Love you, pal. How are you? Great to see you in. The only chance of you succeeding at Barcelona is to come through the youth academy, said Joshua Gummersel. What did Barcelona even see in Coutinho in the first place? They were desperate, mate. What happened was Neymar was PSG came in and just took Neymar out from underneath them. They put in that buyout clause in Neymar's contract, and at the time they thought nobody would pay that much money for a footballer. And PSG came in, and this is what I heard. I could be wrong on this, but I believe that PSG felt very slighted by the treatment they received after Barcelona had that amazing comeback against them in the Champions League. Do you remember that? And I think, again, this is what I read somewhere, that PSG said, well, you know what? Fuck you. We're going to come in and we're going to take Neymar. We're going to prove a point. They went in. They paid the release clause for Neymar in cash. And I think that Barcelona, the board and the president were under huge pressure from their fans to deliver. And all the transfers that they were trying to get over the line didn't work out for them. Griezmann at the time, they couldn't get over the line. And they ended up going and paying massively over the odds for both Ousmane Dembele and Felipe Coutinho just to try and satisfy their fans. And it hasn't worked out for them. And the Neymar money has basically been pissed up against the wall. And whoops. Just really bad management. Really bad. It's what you haven't... If you haven't got consistency at your club, you often hear phrases like director of football and that thrown around willy-nilly, but they're really important because those type of roles ensure that even if the manager changes, the philosophy of the club stays the same, and the director of footballs and that make sure that they bring in the right players to drive the club forward. And I don't know what the fuck was going on at Barcelona. Nobody can probably explain to me why they went out and signed Griezmann, Coutinho and Dembele, and then you go and sign Felipe Coutinho for the money that you did, and you don't even play him in the right fucking position. It's weird, but they're getting what their purchasers have deserved. And look, everybody knows I have a soft spot for Barcelona, but it's been complete mismanagement there, and they're kind of up shit creek, and it's their own problem, really, to be fair. United might offer 400 grand a week for Sancho, said Emmanuel. Yes, they're capable of it. I mean, Manchester United are certainly a financial juggernaut for sure. I I think the thing with Jadon Sancho will be maybe steered by his agent a bit as well. But look, he might be pitched a plan at Manchester United that he likes the sound of. And no matter what we say, I mean, we can't be hypocrites about this. When we weren't successful, we all still viewed Liverpool as a massive club because we are a massive club. And right now, Manchester United are going through a period where they're not that successful as things stand, but they will always be, much like us, a massive club. So there will always be a draw there for players. Now, if United didn't get into the Champions League, then maybe this might be a little bit more difficult of a conversation to get the likes of Jadon Sancho there. But look, time will tell. We're going to have to wait and see. It's going to be an interesting transfer window for sure. Deviceology, how are you, buddies? Greetings from Liverpool, Craig. I hope you and yours are well and in fine fettle. I very much doubt if Sterling will be coming back. I agree. As I said earlier on, mate, I don't see anything to it. Jadon, very good. Thank you, mate. How are you? What about Fabian Ruiz, which is an interesting one. I'm going to just call you Mr. Destruction, if that's okay, because I'm not going through the rest of the name. It's too long. But yeah, Fabian Ruiz is somebody we've definitely been linked with, mate. And as Brian will probably tell you, Napoli is in a little bit of a shit show at the minute. There's been a lot of stuff going on there with De Laurentiis and the players and people not showing up for training camps and that type of stuff. So there will be players moving on from Napoli this summer. And Liverpool have indeed been linked with Fabian Ruiz. I've yet to see a figure be mentioned. Now, I could have just missed out on that one, but there's definitely links there. I will say that for certain. I think we could do better, personally, but I can't deny that there has been a couple of links to Fabian Ruiz from Napoli for sure. Barca turning into AC Milan to the Manuel. What else is there? Zaha would demand game time and high wages, would rather choose differently. Plus, with Zaha, if I remember correctly, we're in Crystal Palace looking for around 100 million or something mad like that for Wilfred Zaha. Valley Boy since 84 said Madison ? I don't know if we need a James Maddison right now. Which is weird because I'm going to tell you in the next breath that we need a creative midfielder. But I don't know if that is James Maddison, if you get where I'm coming from. I mean, Maddison's a good player. Grealish is a good player. But for me, I want us to go up another level. I don't want any fannying about this summer. I don't want us going out there getting players that are good but could potentially be even better. I want us to go out there and just buy talent. Buy people that are going to come in and be first teamers straight away. That are going to be challenging for that place. We've got enough developing talent at the club, without a shadow of a doubt. The club have done so well in going out and recruiting some of the best up-and-coming young footballers around Europe. And we've got Curtis Jones coming through. We've got Raheem Brewster coming through as well. Kiana Hoover, Sepp van den Berg. So many positives that get out there and sign 2 top-level players this summer. That would be my little piece of advice. Not that anybody's asking for it. Kyle, thank you, buddy. That's very kind of you. Malcolm was also a flop at Barcelona. He's now at Zenit as well. Yeah, it's weird. Tora said, I would take Insigne over Fabian Ruiz. I don't know about Lorenzo Insigne, Thor. He's somebody that divides me a little bit. Sometimes I look at him and think, Christ, he's a silky smooth player. And then other times I look at him and think, he's taking too much on. He's trying to do too much. He's trying to shoot from everywhere. And I don't know if, I've said this before, I don't know if that's because he's a Napoli boy and he feels the weight of the club on his shoulders and he's a big fish in a small-ish pond, shall we say. We could do with Werner, he'd be great, said Kyle. Look, I'm fully on board the Timo Werner bandwagon. If he doesn't show up at Liverpool, I'm not going to lie, I'm going to be disappointed. In my head, and this is just in my head, Werner's a Liverpool player. In my head, I'm not going to lie about it. Do you think Barcelona could have a big fall off when Messi is gone? Of all the signings that Barcelona have made, mate, the one that they've got right is Frankie de Jong. He is one hell of a footballer, and that was a very good piece of business by them bringing in him. From his point of view, if I was advising him, I think it's a little bit too early in his career to have gone to Barcelona, but I have absolutely no doubts that he's going to be an amazing footballer. Now, to get around to the Messi part, yes, they're going to be up shit creek, mate, because a Lionel Messi doesn't just come and drop in your lap every day. I mean, the greatest of all time, arguably, definitely the greatest of my generation anyway. Yeah, they're going to be in trouble. But anybody would be. Well, whatever we talk about the mismanagement of Barcelona and stuff, yeah, any club that lost out on Messi would be in trouble for sure. Ken Coastal Holiday Let's is in the house. Carl again, mate. Let me just say a massive thank you to you for your super chat yesterday. That 50 quid, mate, has allowed us to go, and I've already ordered it. I probably posted it into our Discord group, a ring light. So thank you, mate. Really appreciate it. And as I promised you guys yesterday, we're going to do our best to keep this channel going to at least the end of the season. We're going to keep churning along and doing our best. We're even willing to drop into our own pockets and spend more money if needs be, because we understand that people look forward to our streams. We understand that people enjoy what we do. So again, we're going to promise you guys that we're going to do our best to keep this son of a bitch going. And even if that means me spending me pocket money, we'll do our best. We're going to keep this channel going, because we have a bright future ahead if we can get through this fucking mental time right now. Like everybody, you guys out there, a lot of you will have lost your jobs, and like us, our revenue streams went. But we ain't the only ones. Everybody's out there in the same boat, so we ain't looking for any special attention. I just want to be open and honest with everybody and let you know that we're going to keep going and keep going and keep going and keep going, because we don't give up. We just don't give up. What else is there? Hazard shouldn't have left Chelsea. I think it was the right move for Chelsea, if I'm being honest, Emmanuel. Wouldn't Ziyech be the Hazard replacement? Well, he is going to Chelsea. It's already done and dusted, so I guess time will tell. Carl, Kent Coastal Holiday Let's say, glad to help you. Glad to help the show. Your channel is awesome, mate. You've always been a massive supporter of us. I remember, I don't know if I've shared this before, but we did a meetup in Liverpool for the last game of last season, where there was hope beyond hope that we were going to win the league. We were playing Wolves and Manchester City were playing Brighton at the time, and we did a meetup in the beer cellar in Liverpool, where we met up with some of our subscribers that were around that area. So we were in beer cellar at the time, and we were sitting down getting settled into the game, and I got a tap on my shoulder by one of the waiting staff, and I thought, oh, what's this about? And they said, somebody left £50 behind the bar for you guys to have a drink. And it turns out that it was our friend at Kent Coastal Holiday Let's, and we ended up buying a couple of rounds of drinks for everybody that was there with us. And mate, yourself and Julie, I'm proud to call you friends above everything else, but it's wonderful having to get to know people like yourselves that have a heart of gold, mate. An absolute heart of gold. You run a successful business. I know how hard you and Julie work. So again, mate, thank you. Lots of love to you both, and thank you. You'll be at 50k subs soon, said the Viceology. I hope so. I would have loved to have gotten to 40k by the end of the season. We're about, just over 2.5k away. So look, if you're enjoying it, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button. They shouldn't, or they won't get the best out of Frankie de Jong until Busquets leaves, said Brian. Right, let's move on a little bit and talk about the whole Harry Kane stuff, because I'm sure you guys are wondering what the fuck Harry Kane is doing on tonight's thumbnail as well. So Chris Sutton has come out and said that Harry Kane would be stupid not to accept an offer to sign for Liverpool. And I wanted to just raise this as a topic because it was touched on a little bit by somebody on last night's stream, but I just want to know what you guys think. Would you take Harry Kane at Liverpool? Let's put aside the money side of it. Let's say that Liverpool go and agree a fee with Daniel Levy at Spurs. I've always said that I don't think he's the right type of player for us. He is a fantastic striker without a shadow of a doubt. He's too greedy for my liking, and I know inherently strikers are greedy, but I think Mr. Kane takes it to another fucking level. But for me, I would like to see him at Liverpool. It does seem that Harry Kane is starting to lay the foundations for a move away from Spurs, or maybe he's trying to work it so as Spurs invest to get the club up to the level he thinks they need to be at to challenge under Mourinho for trophies and stuff like that. Because whatever we think about Harry Kane, it would be criminal for a player of his quality to go through his career and win fuck all. It really would be. So I can see him moving on. I don't think that'll be to Liverpool, but I can see Harry Kane moving on. And any Spurs fans that are watching this, I promise you I'm not trying to have a dig at your club. Your club has been run very well. You have a magnificent new stadium. I was lucky enough to visit it at the start of the year, and my mind was blown. It was out of this world. Fantastic stadium. But what are your thoughts on Kane, ladies and gents? Carl said I'm blushing. It's true. It is true, mate. Yourself and your good lady wife are both amazing business people, but most importantly, fantastic human beings. And I know a lot of the time when we have chats, I'm in a rush because I have a hectic life, mate, and I can't stay for long, but I always do like our little chats. So, Dave said, I don't think he'd fit our style of play with regards to Harry Kane. Werner overcame by far for Casper. Dunnett Get In said, emphatic no, exactly, too greedy. Craig Crosby said, no, hell no. I think I'm picking up a trend here, ladies and gentlemen. Doesn't fit our style of play, said Leo. Kane, too many injuries as well. Now that is a good point, Harry. That is a very good point, mate. Harry Kane does seem to pick up injuries at a point in the last few seasons. An important point in the seasons as well. Brian Morrissey said, oh no, Sutton, no. Would I take Liu? Emmanuel, sorry mate, I don't know who you're talking about there. All investment into Sancho, said Harry. Oh, I have a bad feeling he'll end up at United, Harry. I hope to God I'm wrong. I would love to see him at Liverpool. And it'll be a killer for me if he does go to United. And I have many videos where I said that I like him as a player. But look, he is a talented young dude, and wherever he ends up, he's going to do really well. So, but I've seen more and more stuff coming out, mate, that maybe it is United that he's going to end up at. Iranian Pride, lovely to see you in again, my friend. I hope you're well. Said Kane, good player, but not for Liverpool. Kane would flop, somebody else said. Kane's not good value, said the Voiceology. Yes, we'd win everything for the next 5 years, said Michael McMahon. What else is there? Not sure about Kane, said Valley Boy since 84. Sterling over Kane for Kate. Hi Craig, up Liverpool. Sterling. I don't know what that means, Kieran. I'm just going to say you're saying fuck Sterling. Let's go with that one. Oh, Lewandowski. No, I wouldn't take him, but I have a massive respect for him. I don't like us signing players that are getting to the end of their careers, even though Lewandowski is a goal scoring machine for sure. He always seemed like he wanted one more move away from Bayern Munich. I think to Real Madrid, but that doesn't look like it's going to materialise anytime soon. When did Chris Sutton say this? Haven't got a clue, mate. I just read it in the Echo. Haven't got a clue. Go on there, have a look for yourself. Might give more detail on it, but yeah. And the word crazy, was it crazy? Stupid was as a quote. Does the Ebola have coronavirus? I don't even want to say that word, mate. That could well have just got me demonetised by saying that. But yes. But he's feeling better and he's recovering, and I think he started back training. I'm so scared to even say those two words because we've already got in trouble with YouTube over saying those words or using something to do with that in one of the streams. So yeah, I'm really trying not to say the word because the last thing we can afford to do is get feckin' demonetised. Love from Australia, thank you very much. Is a Hasey Deck? I hope I pronounced that one right, but thank you. Love right back to you. Kane would be injured a lot, said Harry. Would I take Arthur or Neres? Arthur from Barcelona? No, not from what I've seen. I haven't seen enough of him to say, or enough good things to say yes. And Neres is somebody who was linked with us. And he was linked with Everton actually as well, if I remember correctly, after Ajax's fantastic run. I don't know. Neres is an intriguing one, I have to say. I won't lie and say I haven't followed as much of him this season as I did the season where he was doing wonders with that fantastic young Ajax team. Emmanuel said, happy for Chelsea, their top four with a transfer ban. Yeah, I mean, there has been, if anything, mate, if there can be a plus of having a transfer ban for Chelsea, it was that Frank Lampard started to use some of the younger players and they've done quite well for him. So yeah, it's a job well done so far, to be fair. Dave Smith said, we play a fast attacking style where everybody runs back to defend. Whoever asked why Kane wouldn't fit? I think you've summed it up very well there, Dave. Fuck off to Sterling, Coutinho, Kane and Dembele, said Reza. No messing about, mate. Well in. Brian said, Harry Kane rushed himself back super early from a bad ankle a few seasons back. He hasn't been right since. He always seems to do it, mate. I mean, there was never any doubt that he was going to rush himself back for the Champions League final as well. And yeah, I think he is so selfish. I don't know him as a person, of course, but I would rather he wasn't at Liverpool for certain, with respect to his footballing ability, of course. If we get Werner, do you think it's the end for Origi? Asks Blue. There was a list that was compiled a few weeks back by a newspaper, and I can't for the life of me remember which one it was, that listed off 6 Liverpool players that could potentially be for sale this summer. And Origi was on that list. And I have to say, Blue, I was quite shocked to see Divock Origi's name on that list. Because for me, I think Origi has earned himself more time at the club. He signed that new contract when he could have walked for free. And look, I've often said there's no sentiment in football, and that it is true to an extent, but Divock Origi has been a big game player in big moments and scored some big goals. So for me, no, it wouldn't spell the end for him. And mainly because of this. If nothing else, excuse me, I nearly did it again. Raheem Brewster will probably go out on loan next season. Again, this is guesswork. I've no inside knowledge on this, but I would imagine he will probably go out on loan again next season to a Premier League club, which would mean that if we were to get Werner in, we'd have the front three. We'd have Takumi Minamino, Divock Origi, and Timo Werner, and we probably need 2 players in each position. So I would say no, it wouldn't spell the end for him. And I hope it doesn't spell the end for him because he's not at his peak yet. People keep forgetting that he's quite young and he's got a lot of experience for a young player. Do I think he'll ever be a banged on every single week first name on the team sheet player for us? No, I don't. But I think he can be an effective substitute for us and an effective option. Right, what else is there? The Premier League players are going to take pay cuts when the Premier League starts up again, said Eugene. I think everything is on the table right now, Eugene, with regards to that, mate. Origi deserves to be the main man at a different club. But the beauty is, Adam, he's obviously happy at Liverpool. Because, as I said, he could have left, but he didn't. He sat down, signed a new deal at the club. He's working under a fantastic manager in a great environment with fans that are the best in the world, without a shadow of a doubt. And I think Divock likes it here, and personally, I'm happy to have Divock here. As I said, I never think he's going to be nailed on starting 11 player, but I think he's a good option to have. His footwork in tight spaces can be ridiculous at times, by the way. Am I any good at playing football? No, not anymore, mate. No, maybe 20 years ago, but no, not these days. Blue said, Origi, hope he stays. He's shown hard for Liverpool, and I hope he starts playing as a 9, sorry. I think Werner would be a great buy. He's German and would work with Klopp and his style, said Josh Dunn. Josh, I completely agree with you, mate. I think he's designed for us. He's perfect for us. And again, what you get with Timo Werner is versatility. If people don't know, Werner started his career as a wide player, and now obviously he's an out-and-out number 9, but he can play anywhere across the front, which, Jurgen Klopp does love him a bit of versatility in his players. Do you think we'll sign both Kai Havertz and Timo Werner or just one, said is it Conrad? Conrad Cowan. Financially, we can definitely afford to do both, Conrad, mate, and I think we will see 2 players of that ilk come in. If those 2 players walk through the door this summer at Liverpool, Conrad, I will be very, very, very happy. For me, Werner, as I said, is the most likely of all of them. But Kai Havertz or Houssem Aouar, again, apologies for the way I pronounce his name, would do me in the finest. Either one of those 2 to come in on top of Werner, and I would be a very happy bunny indeed. Now, I did say that there was a little bit of talk about a left back, and I want to get onto that for a second. So Liverpool are believed to be considering signing Paris Saint-Germain left back Layvin Kurzawa, who's out of contract at the end of this season. Now, this is interesting. I've never thought about the out of contract situation. Whenever I'm talking about Liverpool signing a left back, I'm always thinking of somebody like a Saka from Arsenal or the young lad from Norwich, but I'm not somebody who looks into the out of contract market. It's not something that I look at with players. And Kurzawa, out of contract at PSG. What do you guys think about this one? I mean, yes, there'll probably be a hefty signing on fee, and yes, he might be on a decent wage, but it's interesting because you're going to be getting somebody to come in and fight with one of the best left backs in Europe right now. So game time is probably going to be limited, and nobody's going to come in and replace Robertson. Not a hope. But I want to know your thoughts on this one. Have you watched much of him at PSG? I can't say I watch much of the French league, if I'm being honest. Usually when I see PSG, it's in the big games in Europe, or maybe I'll tune in for them to play like Marseille or something in Ligue 1. But other than that, I haven't seen too much of them. How do I feel about getting knocked out of all the club competitions? Tough, Emmanuel, mate. It's fucking tough, mate. I'm not going to lie. I mean, we were talking trebles a while back. And I would have loved to have added another trophy to hopefully the Premier League crown. I won't deny it. It hurt, mate. Going out of the FA Cup and the Champions League and losing to Watford during that period of a couple of weeks, mate, it was yeah, kind of tail spinning, wasn't it? Because we've been spoiled for so long as Liverpool fans, getting to see win after win after win after win, and then to get knocked out by Chelsea, to get beaten by Watford, and then of course to get knocked out by Atleti in the Champions League. Man, it was tough for sure. But I've always said the number one goal was to end this 30-year cycle of not winning the top tier of English football. And if we get back playing football, and if the cards, fall as they may, Liverpool will win the Premier League. And that for me at the start of the season would have been more than enough, mate. Add to that the fact we won the Club World Cup, which is a trophy we never won. Won the Super League as well. Or the Super Cup, excuse me. It's suddenly I thought we were playing rugby league there for a minute. But it's not a bad out season, mate, is it? What have we got? John said PSG reject, no thanks. Craig where did you see what read? I don't know what that is, Scotty. Where did I see which, mate? I'm not sure what you mean, sorry. Did you hear about Jack Grealish and his car speeding? I don't know about the speeding part either, Eugene. All I know, because I only read it yesterday, so there might be more stuff that's come out. All I know is that he crashed into a couple of parked cars, left his details there, and went off, which is perfectly legal. Once you leave your details with somebody at the scene, you're not fleeing the scene. Now, it's not my place to judge Jack Grealish or talk about Jack Grealish. I don't know enough about it, mate. All I'm saying is that I'd seen the story yesterday. Other than that, I'll leave it to you guys. You probably know far more about it than I do. Mark said, haven't seen him play with regards to Kurzawa. Same as me, mate. Haven't seen much of him either. What have we got? No, Kurzawa would be mad wages as a ball boy to Robertson, said Reza. I do love your sense of humour, mate. Well in. Looks like his United move could be in danger. Who are we talking about, Elijah John, mate? Sorry, I missed the first comment you must have made. I'm hoping it's Sancho. Emmanuel said, chat, do you hate Adrian? Now, I want to just pull you up on that word, mate, because hate is a very strong word to talk about a Liverpool player. What I will say is, whether we're talking about Adrian, whether we're talking about Karius, any goalkeeper like that goes out there never intends to make a mistake. And when a goalkeeper makes a mistake, it usually ends up in a goal. Whereas if a striker misses a sitter, misses a sitter, might go and bang in another one. If a defender makes a mistake, there's a chance a goalkeeper bails him out. But if a goalkeeper makes a mistake, it's heightened and it usually ends up in a goal. So I want to say that Adrian has the best of intentions, but I don't think he's up to it. He has had some very good performances from us, without a shadow of a doubt. It was a clever piece of business, an opportunistic piece of business at the time when Simon Mignolet moved on. But I would like to see us go and sign somebody to come in and be a bit more of a challenge towards Alisson. But Paul Gorst from the Echo believes that we're going to have Adrian again with us next season, so I guess it remains to be seen. But yeah, please just don't use the word hate, mate. You're talking about a player that's at our club. How good was Kloppo's interview from home, said Cape Town Muslim. He's a legend, mate, isn't he? I mean, no matter... We can say how lucky we are to have Jurgen Klopp as a manager with regards to a football perspective, with regards to the way he coaches players, with regards to the way he interacts with fans. But most importantly about Jurgen Klopp is that he is a damn fine human being. And you can't hide that shit. You can't fake that shit. Jurgen Klopp is just a good owl skin, as we'd say. I'm so proud to have him at the club. And I'm so proud of a lot of professional athletes and coaches and Guardiola and Messi and many, many other people who have stepped up and done some magnificent stuff during this really difficult time for everybody. So I think we get to, in these worst scenarios, in these really horrible, dark, telling, trusting, fucked up times, we do get your faith in humanity restored a little bit, because you get to see the best of people. People rise to the surface, come together, look out for each other. And I love that. I love having my faith in humanity restored a little bit, because I'm a cynical bastard, without a shadow of a doubt. I always think that somebody has an angle in everything. But there's been a lot of beautiful, selfless acts right around the world. Right around the world, from small little things like people handing over protective gear that they may have had in schools and stuff like that, right through to professional footballers and managers and stuff, and other sportsmen and sportswomen donating millions and millions of quid to some very good causes. So, yeah, look, even in these worst times, the very, very difficult times, it's great to see people coming together. And you know what? Tough times make good people. Tough times make strong people. And after this, Christ, won't we appreciate football that little bit more? Won't we appreciate being able to go out with our families for dinner a little bit more? Won't we I know I'm going to appreciate a fucking holiday for sure. But yeah, there's so many things that we take for granted, and then we realise that Mother Nature can swing around and kick us in the ass very quickly, and we aren't as invincible as we all think that we are. So, yeah, there's a lot of lovely, beautiful times to look forward to when this is all over with. And it's nice. It's nice to be able to just reflect like that and take stock of what is important. Right, what else we got? Oblak ain't coming in. Soldier 1. There's no way Jan Oblak's coming in to be a backup goalkeeper. Why not let the young lad be number 2 next season? We don't need Adrian. As far as I've read, Adam, I think you're talking about Queevy and Kelleher, mate. And as far as I've read, Queevy and Kelleher may go out on loan next season. Now, there is Kamil Grabara, who could perhaps come in and be a backup, mate. And Kamil Grabara, coming from an injury, I believe, but is a very good young goalkeeper. I'm not sure if that's the keeper that you were talking about, or if you were talking about Queevy and Kelleher. Would I take Aubameyang for a cut price fee? Not instead of Timo Werner. No, but I can absolutely see the appeal of Aubameyang at a cut price fee for a club, because the man's a goal scoring machine. Without a shadow of a doubt. Fantastic player. I think Arsenal should just give him whatever the fuck he wants. I really do. I think Arsenal should just say, look, do everything to get Mesut Ozil out the door, because even I think the most stern, staunch of Arsenal fans would agree with me that Mesut Ozil hasn't been a glowing success for them. Not as much as he should be. He hasn't lived up to his potential, shall we say. But Aubameyang, if I'm an Arsenal fan, I'm screaming at the club to just give the man a 3-year deal and give him the wages that he wants, because I think he's almost irreplaceable for them. He is a natural goal scorer, club captain at Arsenal. He seems to like it there. So if I'm an Arsenal fan, I'm hoping beyond hope that the club just give the man what he wants. Dave Smith said, before Adrian made those mistakes, I trusted him in his early form. Yeah, because let's not forget, when Alisson was injured at the start of the season, he came in and, okay, there was a mistake somewhere, I can't remember who it was against, but all in all, he did quite well. So, but from speaking with West Ham fans, and Connor has told me the same, and I think Brian maybe as well, a lot of them said that that's what you get with Adrian. You get sometimes where he's excellent, and then you get some colossal errors, and maybe that's why he never really went to the very, 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 very highest level. Although anybody who gets to play in the Premier League, is playing at a really high level. Griezmann for a knockdown price? No, I despise Antoine Griezmann. I don't like anything about the man. Nothing. I tell you what, I completely lost all respect for Antoine Griezmann when he made those 2 fucking stupid videos. One saying that he was going to be leaving Atleti, and one saying that he was going to be staying at Atleti. And I don't know if it was a television station or whoever he had the 2 videos with, but he only let them know like a half hour, an hour before they're due to air which of those 2 videos to play. I think he stuck a massive 2 fingers of fuck you up to the Atleti fans. I just don't like him. I don't like him at all, Antoine Griezmann. Yeah, that's just my opinion. So no, I definitely don't want him at Liverpool. Embro, how are you, buddy? Said, evening, Craig. How are you, mate? Lockdown's mad, but trying to keep the spirits up. How is it in Ireland? You know us, mate. All in all, Irish people, we always try and make the best out of any situation. So, as I said, I've been going around the house trying to wind my wife up as much as possible, sing stupid songs, do stupid dances, have some time with the kids. Yeah, just trying to make the most of it, mate, as always. Okay, what else is there? Soldier 1 said he's keeping an eye on Brazil players, especially the up-and-coming ones. The only problem with that, mate, is the work permit issue. I mean, we've seen with De Sousa, the kid that we had here, just couldn't get him a work permit. Poor chap went out on loan all around Europe. And unless, I mean, there are certain criteria. You have to have played X amount of your national team's games, and I think your team has to be at a certain tier, I think, in FIFA's rankings, or you have to be deemed a special talent, or, I don't know, there's various other bits and pieces as well with regards to being able to get a work permit to come and play. So that's why you often see players, Brazilians and stuff, going to play in Portugal, because I think a good chunk of Brazilians, maybe all of them, I'm happy to be corrected on this, have dual nationalities, because, you know, Brazil, Portugal. So I think a lot of them that do have those Portuguese passports, then perhaps it's easier to get them in to come and play in Europe. Or in England, as the case may be, sorry. I'd love to sign Son at a cut price fee for Liverpool. So Conrad, I've always admired Son as a player, mate, for sure. Yeah, I'm not going to disagree with you. I've always liked him as a player. Ronnie Wood said, Craig, why don't we be cheeky and throw in a bid for Dean Henderson as number 2? United ain't going to sell Henderson to us, mate. If anything, they're probably looking at Henderson to come in as a De Gea replacement long term, because although he's at Sheffield United right now, he's a Manchester United player that's on loan. What else have we got? Soldier One said, keep your hair on. I don't know that I moaned about too much, mate. Sorry. Definitely didn't moan at you anyway. Not that I can remember. Do you think the summer transfer window we're going to get somebody out of the blue that we haven't talked much about? Yes. And I love those transfers, Wes. I love those transfers. Somebody that comes completely out of nowhere. Yeah, I mean, we've seen it with Fabinho. We've seen it with Robertson. I think even Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain kind of came out of the blue a little bit, if my memory serves me correct. But yeah, I love those type of transfers. Definitely. We've definitely seen it with Takumi Minamino as well, by the way. Gabriel said, Craig, is this true? We don't need to buy anybody for the starting 11, but we do need better replacements. Yes and no. Can we improve in certain areas on the pitch? Probably. I mean, it's difficult to pick them. I mean, off the top of my head, a different type of midfielder could perhaps be an option for us. But I would say it's more rotation. That's the word that I keep using, because you got to play 60, 65 games in a season, and you cannot rely on your starting 11 to play. You can't ask your starting 11 to play that many games. So it's nice to try and have 2 top level players in every position. And although it's difficult to keep everybody happy, clubs that are doing well, clubs that are winning, clubs that are challenging for trophies, you know, players are, I think, a little bit more willing to play maybe 30, 35 games a season if they're going to be challenging for stuff. But yeah, it's difficult to improve what we have, for sure. But it is possible. And I think we all trust Michael Edwards, Jurgen Klopp, Dave Fallows and the rest of the recruitment team to get that spot on. Joel, thank you for the super chat, mate. Really, really does make a difference, all of these little bits and pieces. Do you ever think we'll see Harry Wilson playing the first team? Or do you think we'll see Harry Wilson playing the first team next season? No, I don't. I think we might see him in the summer or in whenever pre-season is, mate. But I think if the club can get the fee, that rumoured to be 30 million, I don't know where that number came from, but it's a number that keeps going around with regards to Harry Wilson. I just don't think he's... I don't want to say I don't think he's good enough for Liverpool, because he's still quite a young player. But I don't think we have the time to allow him to develop at Liverpool whilst getting the game time that he may need. That's probably the most kind way that I could phrase it. I think there's a Premier League player in Harry Wilson for sure, definitely. I just don't see it being at Liverpool. That's my humble opinion. And I think I said this last night as well. I'd seen a £28 million link for Sheridan Shaqiri to Sevilla. I'm not sure if you guys had seen that. I don't think it's any secret that Shaqiri's probably going to be on his way out at the end of the season. I said something about Dejan Lovren as well. I've been telling you guys for a couple of weeks now that Lovren is most likely going to be on his way out, but also that there's been interest in him from some London clubs. And where is it recently? The Mail believes that Lovren actually likes the idea of going and playing some football in London. If off the top of my head, I think it was Arsenal, Spurs, Palace and West Ham. Maybe the 4 London clubs who have been linked with a move for Dejan Lovren. So, interesting. I thought he would end up in Italy personally, but if he likes the idea of going to play in London, then, you know, Liverpool need to try and get the most that they can get for the man. Again, though, if he does go, no matter what you think of Dejan Lovren, I will always say the man loved wearing our shirt, and the man gave us all every time he wore the shirt. Whether he made mistakes or not, there's no denying that Dejan Lovren loves this football club. Who do you think will be out the door come the summer? Asked Conrad. Kleiny, obviously. Lallana, obviously. Their contracts are up. Shaqiri. Who else do I think will be gone in the summer? I don't know. Marco Grujic. That's quite an interesting one. See what happens there. I think Wilson could well go. We've got Glatzel as well coming back from a long-term injury, by the way. Another up-and-coming young striker. You might remember him and Bobby Duncan were banging in goals for fun before Glatzel got injured and Duncan fucked off to Fiorentina to do nothing. Who else do I think might be out the door this summer? I think Gini will sign a new deal and stay. I hope to God that he does. Adrian, perhaps. I still think Adrian might go back to Real Betis. I know Paul Gorse of the Echo thinks otherwise, but this is just my opinion. I think Brewster might go out on loan for another season. Kelleher go out on loan for a season. Naby will stay, in my opinion, and rightly so, because I think he still has a lot to prove. I don't see us selling any of the front three this summer. Unless I'm missing somebody really obvious. I'm trying to quickly just scan through the team in my head. Lovren, I think, will go, as we just spoke about. I don't really think there'll be many more. I mean, we've named, 6, 7 players there. Christopher said, feel sorry for Klein. I think there's something more to that story, Christopher, and I don't know what the hell it is, and I'm not even going to pretend to try and hazard a guess at it, but something just stinks about that situation to me, and I've heard all types of rumours and innuendo, but it isn't my place to make guesses, but I just feel there is more to that Nathaniel Klein situation than perhaps we might ever know. Who do you think in the last few seasons we shouldn't have sold? Well, look, the obvious one for me is I never wanted us to sell Luis Suarez, because I love the guy. Even though he was a shithouse biting people and all, I always liked him. Coutinho, I was angry about at the time, but look, it worked out for the best because it allowed us to get Alisson Becker and Virgil van Dijk in and improve the team. And also took a little bit of the onus off, or I should say made the other players step up, because it was too easy when we had Coutinho in the team to just give him the ball and hope for the best. Give the ball to Phil, hope he comes up with a bit of magic, let him have a shot from 30 yards and fingers crossed it goes well. But when he left, we've seen players like Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain start to lift their game and take on a little bit more responsibility. So, other than that, is there anybody else I think we really shouldn't have sold? I mean, people are probably going to say things like Luis Alberto, but again, I think it was the right move at the right time. It wasn't working out for him at Liverpool. There's not really anyone that springs to mind as somebody who we really fucked up by letting go. Lallana to go. Yes, Josh, his contract is up, mate, at the end of the season. Lallana will be a free agent when the season's over. Ryan Kent is already gone, Gabriel. He's a Rangers player. Signed for them. That's done and dusted. He is a Rangers player. Okay, what else is there? Klein is probably on bad terms with Klopp, said Dave. Shouldn't have sold Sterling. We would have won the league, making Manchester City weaker without him. I think he kind of backed us into a corner where there wasn't really a way out of it with regard to that situation with him and his shithouse of an agent. But hey, I mean, look, Alonso was a bad sale. I mean, we're going back quite a while there, and I'm not going to argue it for sure. I wish we never sold Xabi Alonso. Brian said Klein, Lovren, Lallana would be 250 grand a week in wages, and probably a couple of replacements already there with young Neco Williams, Curtis Jones and Takumi. Should have kept Markovic. Oh man, don't even get me started on Markovic. We need a left back to give Robbo a rest. We spoke about one earlier on, mate, that we were linked with the guy Kurzawa from PSG, who was on a free at the end of the season. There's also been talk of, I think somebody mentioned Jamal Lewis maybe to me the other day. I like the kid from Arsenal, Saka, although I think they're going to fight tooth and nail to keep him. And he doesn't want to play at left back apparently, but our left back is basically a left winger anyway. Any thoughts on Lovren's replacement? This is a really tough one. I've said this, Morsheen, a couple of times, mate, on the stream. Do you wait and see how Sepp van den Berg develops? Or do you go out and buy, like, by waiting to see, I mean, do you go out and get somebody who's like 31, 32, who you might get a couple of seasons out of to come in and be the out and out fourth choice back, or fourth choice centre back? Or do you go and sign somebody for 50, 60 million quid and push Sepp van den Berg further down the pecking order? I like the idea of getting somebody who's experienced to come in and just, maybe play 15, 20 games a season and allow Kylian Hoover, Sepp van den Berg and the likes to develop. Alonso only left because Benitez wanted Barry. Yes, he did. That time when we signed Robbie Keane, he wanted he wasn't so overly gone on Keane, but he definitely wanted with Gareth Barry, without a shadow of a doubt, mate. Right, look, ladies and gentlemen, again, thank you for the super chats tonight and all the little bits and pieces. You're keeping the channel alive, so thank you so much for all those little pops. If you want to sign up and become a member, like the likes of Dunnick, get in, like Luca Bradley, like Joanne and everybody else that has the Anfield Agenda logo beside their name, there is a link in the description to sign up and become a member. Membership is only 99p a month or $4.99 for the Ultra membership. All members get to use those cool emojis that you see on the screen, whether it be Craig's bald head, Klopp, the Fuckum, the C Senor, the Virgil van Dijk, the Mo Salah ones, whatever other ones that Connor has made recently as well. And it makes a world of difference to us as a channel, so thank you. The longer you're with us as well, your badge will change colour. It starts off as bronze, then it goes to silver, then it goes to gold, and then after, I think 6 months, you get the nice sexy ass Anfield Agenda badge. But look, as always, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. We will be back tomorrow. Terry from the Football Terrace is scheduled to come on and have a chat with us. We're going to be going on Hot Mic and we're going to be going on YouTube tomorrow. Going to be starting at 9 o'clock, so make sure you've got your notifications turned on. But most importantly, I love to ask you guys this. Get over, download the Hot Mic app and put in the code Anfield Agenda, just as you can see on the screen there beside me. And that will help us out as well hugely to keep the channel going, keep it alive, and it doesn't cost you anything. The app is free to download, the app is free to use. It's got all the features that you get on YouTube. You've got a live chat function, a share function, and loads of other bits and pieces as well. As always, thank you so much. We'll see you on Friday as well for the Watchalong of Istanbul 2005. I can't wait for that one, just to get to watch some football again and have a talk about it. So look, as always, lots of love to you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for all your help, your love and support. I hope that all of your family stay well and stay safe. And I will chat to you wonderful people tomorrow. Lots of love and up the motherfucking Reds.